Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and it is the wee hours of the morning on the East Coast. It's not even 5 a.m. here, just about, but I couldn't sleep. I couldn't fall asleep, and all of a sudden I hear a notification on my phone, and it is the good people over at TruthStream Media letting me know that it looks like we have found out the location of the Bilderberg conference. And boy, were they right. Right after that, my source, Charlie Skelton, who does some great work on the matter, also tweeted out not only the location, but the list is up. So, I got to think that I'm the first one covering this on YouTube, guys. And like I said, we're going to have the most in-depth Bilderberg coverage out there. So let's read the agenda, and then let's kind of go over, because a lot of the members are people that I have been featuring on my channel, and of course on the We Are Change channel as well. But if you look at my Bilderberg stuff, Zolik is not going to be there. Rothkopf is not going to be there, but Neil Ferguson is going to be there. Eric Schmidt is returning after a couple years. Who else is going to be there that we've talked about? Let's see. I've talked about guys, it's almost 5 in the morning. But let's go to the list. And, of course, the big news to me, anyway, is that, Jared Kushner's going to be there. He's draining the swamp, but no, Kushner is on the list this year for sure. By the way, Peter Thiel, someone we talk about all the time, Luke confronted years ago, he's on the list. So you've got Schmidt, you've got Thiel. Etnion Davignon was the one I was thinking of. We just did a video on Kissinger. Kissinger's in my thumb there. Kissinger also going to be there. So a lot of the players that I've been talking about the past week and going in depth on, guess what? They're still helping to run the show, and they are going to be there. But as that goes on, I want to let people know there are a lot of new, younger tech people that are also going. So we're going to show you the list. But yes, I believe it's going to be in Switzerland. Yes, it's in Switzerland. So that officially counts me out. I will not be able to be on the ground there. Yes, super disappointed. I'm sure when Luke gets up, we're going to be discussing in probably like 6 hours how we're going to get him there and make sure that we're able to cover this in depth. But I assure you, we will be covering it. And by the way, guys, before I read the agenda, I want to let everybody know that we're about $1,800 in on that $3,000 goal. Travel to Switzerland is not going to be cheap. Remember, they start coming in on Thursday. Right now, we're at the wee hours of the morning on Tuesday. So they didn't even give us the 3 days heads up, the 72 hours that we thought we were going to get. Lee Stewie had contacted them, and they said they would put everything up a few days. To their word, within a few days, but less than 72 hours notice, not what we're used to anymore. And without people like Jim Tucker getting the leaks weeks in advance, there's been literally zero media coverage. There's the media coverage, guys. We found 7 articles, most of which had nothing really to do with Bilderberg or have links to nothing. Let's see if we've got any more since the last time. Hey, there we go. We got a couple people, local Switzerland, 21 minutes ago. This is how live this is, guys. 21 minutes ago, we have the first report in English that, yes, they will be holding this in Switzerland. So let's get to the press release. What are the topics for discussion? And by the way, guys, thumbs this video up, share it everywhere so it gets out there. Hopefully by noon today, most people that care will know where the Bilderberg meeting is happening and hopefully get behind the very few people in independent media that will cover this. So they love world's orders, don't they? A strategic, stable order. That's number one. What's next for Europe? Well, what is next for Europe? Well, obviously Theresa May is gone. People want out of Brexit or out of the European Union through Brexit. The yellow vests are not happening. I'll tell you what's happening in Europe. Your little plan has been destabilized because the people don't like it. They don't want to pay a carbon tax, okay? Let's get it straight. And that's what comes to the next one. Climate change and sustainability. They will not give up on their propaganda train to tax everything and anything. And then it should come as no surprise that, hey, the next two are China and Russia as the competing world powers. Let's really Not so shocking, but if you follow my work, if you follow what I do day to day over at We Are Change and News for a Change with Luke, we talk about all of these things all the time because they are what's important. And although a lot of stuff in the mainstream about Russia is nonsense, and many of the things about China are spun in a certain manner, while the major stuff like social credit scores is underreported, they don't cover these things in depth. So now the future of capitalism is number 6. Remember, these are the people that are bringing you things like a universal basic income, automation. So yeah, is capitalism, well, how do we move to this world socialist society that is going to give us the strategic, stable order that we want? Brexit on the topics. Of course it was going to be. How could it not be? The ethics of artificial intelligence. They're worried about the ethics of it now, of AI. Well, it's about damn time. The weaponization of social media. You guys are the ones that weaponized it. All right? We used it to try to get the truth out. Then people took it over to try to make money on it more and more. The narrative got out of your control. You could no longer call people just nut jobs or conspiracy theorists. And yeah, you did lose the narrative. And that's when social media became weaponized on the other side, where now you're regulating it to the point where you have the thumb on these industries so hard that, well, certain people aren't allowed to talk on it. And you've done a really good job framing it in the mainstream that it's a right-left issue, that it's only conservatives that are being censored. That's not the case at all. It's free and independent thinkers as well. The importance of space. Remember Trump launching his Space Force this year. And actually, Elon Musk, I think, sent some satellites up that were causing a stir in an array. Listen, it's 2019 on the way to 2020. We really have no idea what is really going on with our space program whatsoever. And these privatized, what is it? Blue Sky and what's Musk's there? SpaceX. Listen, they're working hand in hand with the government, and we have limited information on that as well. And then cyber threats, okay? So cyber threats kind of a no-brainer when you see this list, this participant list. So let's get to the participants, all right? And who do I want to go to first? So yeah, I wanted to point Davignon on. He is the person I feature in Invisible Empire that talks about the creation of a European Union and the Euro through this organization. Okay? So obviously, they have not been able to keep that up. It's becoming destabilized, as is a lot of Europe, let's be honest. So Davignon, long-time player in this. You got a lot of the very, very old school with some very, very new school people coming in too. Like, for instance, if you look at this Jared Cohen guy, he's somebody I'm not familiar with, but if he's, the CEO of Jigsaw Inside Alphabet, which is the owners of Google, you can bet he's an important player. All right? So let's continue down. And as I said before, where's Ferguson? Here he is right here, right? Yes. So Neil Ferguson, he is Hoover Institute. He's a historian. He's somebody that, where's that video? I believe it is, it's a little bit more down. And right here. Bilderberg insider makes stunning confessions. And I think I did a possible follow-up with that as well on another channel. I think we did something on We Are Change and News for a Change. But he talks about how these organizations are real. And he talks how networks are real. And he's a member of the Bilderberg group. And Brian Lamb, who's interviewing him, talks to him about this. So Neil Ferguson returning again. And he's, their authoritative historian over there. You see how members of the media, he's a Rothschild historian too, wrote 2 books on them, 2 separate books. Actually, it's a really interesting interview. I encourage people to not only check out my video, but the whole thing. And he also gave a lecture on that book. It's The Stone in the Tower, or The Tower in the Stone. I'm probably butchering it. Again, I apologize. I'm a little sleepy, folks. It's really early here. We're trying to break this as quickly as possible. There he is, Henry Kissinger. I mean, is he a century old yet? He's got to be close. Remember, Rockefeller went all the way up until almost his death. And it seems like Kissinger is going to do the same. So I think I was spot on putting the thumbnail in the previous video, because obviously this guy is still a power player. He's still in people's ears. He's still making connections. He's still part of that deep state intelligence community. I promise you. Maybe you could look at him almost as Varus, only maybe not as righteous, the Lord of Whisperers or whatever. So let's continue on down. Where's the Kush? Where's the old Kushner? Lo and behold, he was draining the swamp, and that's why his son-in-law's going. So, everybody that's looked into Kushner, his ties to Israel, his ties to Genie Energy, okay, in the Golan Heights, the fact he is, one of these super Zionists out there, it shouldn't be a shock he's in here, but you would think most of his base, the Trump base, wouldn't want Kushner, who had all these security clearances inside the White House, at a meeting like this. This only kind of props him up further and gets him on the inside further. Kushner's a guy to look at. He really is. Jared Kushner, my God. So Kushner coming in, that's why I headlined him with this video. That's why he's in the thumbnail. That was the big standout to me. And as I stated before, Eric Schmidt is making an official return. Now, remember, sometimes they don't tell us exactly who's there. We know that more than likely, I played this clip earlier in my video with Kissinger in the thumb, that Barack Obama, after kind of taking the primaries, seemed to have a sit down with some of the people over in the Bilderberg group. He ditched his press corps. Robert Gibbs covered up for him. In the media, they tried to say it was going to be some kind of a meeting with Hillary Clinton. That fell through. So you do have some people off the list. So has Schmidt been in attendance or maybe teleconferenced into some of these meetings in the past couple of years? Possibly. But he is once again on the list. And so is Peter Thiel of Thiel Capital. And again, this is the president's technology advisor. He is the co-founder of PayPal with Elon Musk. He is an ex-executive at Facebook, and he has his hands in just about everything. Hell, he financed the lawsuit against Gawker for Hulk Hogan that took that media operation down. Let that sink in. And there's a lot of other players in here that have gone in years past. I noticed that the power couple is back. I think Dorfman. Charlie Skelton, if you are not following him on Twitter, it is at DeYook. I'm hoping to get an interview with him sometime this week for We Are Change and News for a Change for sure. But his Twitter is going to be your guide to Bilderberg. I can already, first of all, he's European, so he's already been up and out there. And he is just laying it down. Who's going, who's on the list, why they're significant. Look for an article about the list from him very shortly. Does the most amazing mainstream work out there. And he is interviewed in 2017. In which video is this? This one right here. Bilderberg reporter exposes colleagues. So if you haven't seen my interview with Charlie Skelton after the 2017 conference, please go check that out as well. Guys, please thumbs this video up. Share it out there. Let's get the word out. Thanks to everybody that still cares about this event, because obviously it matters. Look at who these people are. Look at who they are. Look at what their even short set of agendas that we forced them into telling us about are. Okay? These are the not-so-secret rulers of the world, the power players. How many people from Goldman Sachs and Alphabet have to be there? And technically, they have Schmidt listed as just an advisor, a technical advisor. This is a guy that was the CEO of Alphabet. Then he stepped down because of a sex scandal that never came out during the Me Too movement. Look it up. All right? Then he goes down to the board of Alphabet. Then he drops out of the board of Alphabet. Now he's just an advisor. And he's going around telling everybody how it was a great thing to work with China on Dragonfly, their censored internet browser. Okay? And remember, Schmidt gives a quote-unquote New World Order speech. New World Order speech. There he is right there. Bilderberg steering member speaks out about the future of the internet in 2008. So 11 years ago, he gave a very prophetic speech. That's a long one. That's a really in-depth deep dive. It's about 43 minutes. Cut a lot of that up because a lot of the things he said were true and have come into fruition. So guys, once again, if you can, please consider helping us out. I gotta think that travel alone for Luke to Switzerland, with a hotel is probably going to be about $1,200 minimum. I don't know how it would be cheaper than that to get a flight on 2 days' notice and then get a hotel room around that area plus transportation. And like I said, there's a good chance that he could be detained. We don't have a lot of funds out there. Disappointed it wasn't in Ottawa, Canada, or somewhere else that I would be able to attend. But I'm going to be getting my passport this year. So 2020 Bilderberg, I will absolutely be boots on the ground. But here it is. It's Switzerland. We know for sure. You heard it here first. The Bilderberg meeting, Switzerland. The participants are up. You can go check my Twitter if you're not following me, at Jason Burmis. We have all this stuff up here, including the list and the agenda. Please follow me. Retweet this stuff out there. And yeah, there it is, guys. I thank you all for joining me, and I want to let you know that this is still an important issue. You haven't seen one article with days to go on tomorrow's News Today in most of the alternative media. And that's a damn shame. Let's see if they pick it up tomorrow. But as of now, We Are Change, Truth Stream Media, Press for Truth, we're the ones that have been at the forefront of this. Corbett Report just did an interview with Luke today. Check that out. But once again, we're gonna chase these people down and try to get some answers, because they shouldn't be having these non-transparent, closed doors meetings about globalism. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching.